there are a number of groups that work behind the scenes to get out the vote, to get people informed, and to try to make sure that people understand what is going on in the budget. We have a lot of board meetings. It's very difficult for people to come. The model is kind of reversed. The board now is expected to be at everybody else's meetings and in people's homes for the budgets. And with the tax cap in a political atmosphere, it's now a right, that people see, and there's no way that we have the manpower to, get and inform as many people as possible what the choice is. That is not to say I think that the board would not consider an override of the cap in another year, but I think this is our thinking was this was the first year. Many people don't understand what it means. We know from speaking to other districts that there are going to be very significant impacts in other places by this 2% tax cap, and perhaps our community will see how it affects their property values and how it has affected other schools, and then in the future they will be willing to talk about working with all contingencies to override the cap. But I did want to share with the board and share with the community that the language that must be read on a referendum to override the tax cap is very political language. It's not language that says your budget will be X, do you want to vote for it? Yes. The language in the provision of the education law says adoption of this budget requires a tax levy increase of X, which exceeds the statutory tax levy limit increase of whatever our base is, 2% for this school fiscal year, and therefore exceeds the state tax cap and must be approved by 60% of the qualified voters present and voting. And that's a very scary statement, I think, for many people, and it's a very difficult thing to explain in a very, very first year of the cap.
I would also share that we told all of the districts in Nassau County, and there's not a single district at this point that is looking to override the cap because of that language that has to be on the ballot in the political climate.
I think if you look nationally as well as statewide and locally, freezing taxes or having caps are really equated with fiscal discipline. And those districts that try and go above that amount are districts that are not adhering to fiscal discipline at a time where nationally this is a very clear priority. So I think we put ourselves at enormous, enormous risk by trying to go above the 2%. But as Carolyn and Ed have said, we're talking about 1 year for the moment. The bottom line for us is the quality of education that our kids receive. So we will look at this year by year and see what we can do and see how on board the public is. But this year, I can think of nothing that would more enrage Governor Cuomo and a whole bunch of other politicians than an attempt on our part to go above 2%.
Obviously, we are in the same boat with a great many other districts, and we have worked for some time, in particular with Manhasset, Roslyn, Lopez Valley, East Williston, and on occasion other districts, to try and cooperate together on fiscal savings, cooperative ventures, to explore ways that we could work together for clear issues, and of course on lobbying. And so this was a meeting, usually we have met with boards and or with legislative action committees. In this meeting we also invited the superintendent, the assistant superintendent, so that we could get everybody's voice. I think that a number of helpful ideas emerged from this. And we're meeting again on February 6th and trying to figure out how effectively we could quote-unquote change the conversation to stress the fact that we have successful districts and what the impact of the governor's positions are on our successful districts. We are looking for ways to communicate together to basically take advantage of the strength in numbers and our record together. So we're going to continue to pursue that. In a very difficult climate, of course, as you all know, the government has been extremely successful in claiming that he's the advocate for the schools, whereas actually he's doing everything he can to really undermine public education in the state. So we are looking for every way we can change that.